Hello everybody, in this video I wanted to cover some of my favorite dinosaurs in Path of Titans. I'll outline what I like about them, what I think could be improved upon, and maybe a little background as to what the creature actually was in life, you know? Just sharing my personal preferences, not much of a discussion video, just sharing my opinion with you guys, and let me know what your favorites are in the comments. Now, I do have other dinosaurs that are some of my favorites that aren't in the game, like Tarbosaurus. Tarbosaurus would be a really cool dinosaur to add, because it would be kind of a subapex tyrannosaurid, because we don't really have that right now. We used to have Bista, but Bista's gone. That was still more of a mid-tier. Subapex tyrannosaurid could be cool. Zuchang used to be that, but after the new mass estimates, both it and Acro are now considered apexes, which is good. They should be. But anyways, I just figured this could be just a chill video, sharing my opinion, sharing what I like. And these are all official dinosaurs. I might do a part 2 with my favorite modded dinosaurs, and those are going to be a fair bit more controversial. I think you know some that are probably going to be on that list, despite what you guys might think of their quality. But yeah. I just wanted to make a video like this. You might know that Raytree, I got voice crack. Raytree, if y'all know who he is, he also does Path of Titans videos. He did a video like this a while back. And honestly, I've got the idea to do one for myself, mainly because I do want to share what some of my favorites are with you guys, and I'm curious to see what your guys' favorites are. And just because he made that video, I mean, I know it doesn't, mean that nobody else can make a video like it, but I figured I might as well acknowledge it, because I don't want it to seem like I'm copying him or anything. I love his content, but I don't want to copy him, I want to do my own thing, and this is something I want to do. I actually agree with some of his points in his video and some of his favorites. We do share a taste in dinosaurs. But yeah, that's enough waffling on for me. Let's get right into the list, starting with the most obvious entry on this list. You already know this was number 1. Tyrannosaurus Rex is easily my favorite dinosaur of all time, and it's my favorite playable in this game. Now, just because it's my favorite doesn't mean that it doesn't have its problems. We all know this. It's very flawed, especially after all the nerfs they keep doing to it, and all the weird updates and changes. It's very, very odd what they've done to the Rex TLC, but that doesn't mean I don't like it. I really love Rex's kit. I love it. It's flawed, but it's good. It's a very good kit. The only problems with it are just stats. Stats that could easily be changed. Those are really the only glaring problems. The only new ability that I would give to it is 1 stack of the Tenderize effect that Anodontosaurus has, but give it to T-Rex, but only on its Bite, Crushing Bite, and Bone Snap. That way, if you're able to land 10 of each of those bites, or well, not 10 of each, but if you've used those bites to stack Tenderize up 10 times, then you can basically guarantee a kill with your ambush. But if the other player is skilled and they evade your ambush, you won't be able to land the Tenderize on them. The calls for the Tyrannosaurus Rex are also fairly decent. I didn't used to like them all that much, but I think the new distant calls are very good. They are very bassy, they're very booming, they're loud, and they're intimidating. I do think that the Rex's threaten could be a bit better, but at a distance it sounds really cool. And the broadcast I feel should be a bit bassier. It should have, I don't know, a bit of a deeper sound to it. But again, those are just nitpicks. Those are small little problems that they probably won't do anything about. But who knows, they might change it in the future. Rex's calls they're not the best in the game, but they're definitely good. They're good, solid calls that get the job done. You can definitely tell what the animal is at a distance. It's very good. The design for the Rex has improved drastically since the original. The original design, I'm really not sure what they were thinking when they made that original model. Rex now looks so much better. Its animations are so much nicer. The only animations that they've kept are like a few of its emo animations that are just kind of harmless. But some animations that they should go back and change, I think, are the eating and drinking animations. They're really stiff and really awkward, and I think they should go back and change those. There are a few other dinosaurs that kept those animations, but I think T-Rex kind of suffers from it the most. It has like a weird neck and head posture. Like I implore you to play Rex and like go like eat something or drink something in single player, so just to see what I'm talking about if you want. Unfortunately I didn't get a clip of that because I didn't think I'd be talking about it. But yeah, if you played Rex, you probably will know that the animations for that are very, very stiff and really awkward to look at. But to wrap this up, I want to talk about the biggest issue I have with Rex, and that's Killing Blow. I hate Killing Blow so much. That one ability has ruined Rex's kit for me, honestly. Even though I like Rex's kit and how it's very fracture reliant and it can actually make fracture good, I still think that Killing Blow, Rex relies on it way too much to do high, consistent damage. Rex's damage has gone down exponentially recently within recent updates. Same thing has happened with Eotrike. A few of the other Apexes have gotten damage nerfs, but they haven't affected the other Apexes nearly as much because they don't rely on damage as much as Rex and Eotrike do. Rex and Eotrike equally both suffer from mediocre damage after all of their nerfs. I think what they should do, and many people have also made this claim, I know DB Rex made a video on this a bit ago, and the developers have actually gone and fixed the issue, but then they've gone back and just reverted it anyway, and I have no idea why they've done that. I really don't understand why they did that. What Rex should do is have around 70 or 75 damage on its bite at base. And yes, I'm accounting for if they do put Tenderize on T-Rex's bite attacks. I will say that Clamp and Tail Attack should not get Tenderize stacks. It doesn't need that. And also, they should remove whatever they did to Shattering Cry. Like, it's so weird and gimmicky. I just think that Shattering Cry should just go back to what it used to be. That new, like, effect it has where if you pop it when your opponent has a broken leg, then they get some fracture after it heals. It's just really gimmicky, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work how they intend it to work. It's just not viable to use in a fight. It really isn't. But anyways, Rex and Eo should both get their damage increased. Rex to 70 or 75, and Eo to 60 or 65. Mainly because Eo has that head slam, and they should bring the head slam up to like 95 to 100 damage or so. Rex's crushing bite should probably stay the same. Rex's bone snap should probably go up to 90 damage, but they could just keep it at like 85 if they wanted to, because bone snap's high damage is it's fine. I think it's just like Rex's base bite that needs to go up, because bone snap isn't really that much of an issue. Crushing bite is kind of fine, but that extra effect it has where it increases in damage if you hit a fractured target, or if you hit a fractured target, I think there should be a greater increase in damage there, because 25% is not a whole lot when the bite's damage only does 40. So it only brings it up to 50 damage, which for T-Rex standards is not a whole lot of damage. Sure, it does kind of help keep a little bit of damage on your opponent when you have to like switch over to use your crushing bite to keep them fractured. But again, it's really not that much of an increase. It's not that much damage. Especially when Spino has much more health, a better turning radius, and it has the same damage numbers as Rex, if not more. Spino can cycle a 50 damage bite and a 60 damage claw attack to do more consistent damage than T-Rex's base 60 damage bite, while also having a crap ton of armor. It's not really fair, honestly. It's not exactly a fair matchup. So Rex's main problem, it just needs better damage. Just give Rex better damage and the tenderize mechanic. And if they were to bring up Rex's damage like that, to compensate, I would nerf Killing Blow down to 10%. That's what I would do. Because Rex has a bunch of other damage buffs that it can also equip, like King's Mantle, which gives it 10% based on how many times it's hit. And it has Rampage, which can give it up to 50% health recovery when it's low. Terrible Roar, which can give it 25% reduced cooldowns and 25% increased damage. So Rex has a lot of damage buffs, but with its base damage being so mediocre, it's just not that great. And another thing, Tyrannotitan is more tanky than T-Rex if it pops its buff call. It's actually insane. And you might think, oh, that's fine because Titan doesn't do as much damage. If a Titan runs Heavy Bite and Fresh Blood, it can go band for band with a Rex and a phase tank. If a Titan runs that with the defense call and just face tanks a Rex and the Rex does not land a singular fracture attack on the Tyrannotitan will win the face tank. That's how ridiculously mid T-Rex's base damage is. If you're not running Killing Blow, you will never kill a Tyrannotitan. It's that reliant on that one ability because its base damage is just mediocre for an Apex. It's so weird what they've done to it. But that's enough waffling about Rex. Y'all know the problem. I'm giving the blueprint on how to fix it. It's very, very small, simple changes. Because again, I don't think that Rex is bad. I just think it's kind of mediocre. Tyrannotitan and Spino are both better picks at the moment. Spino is just better for like being a tank and doing high damage and also being maneuverable in the water. And Titan is just better if you want to have a fast-moving Apex that can put out some bleed and just keep damaging your opponent. Like, Titan is a very versatile Apex that can attack basically anything. T-Rex doesn't have that luxury because its damage is just mediocre. But again, that's enough waffling. I've been yapping too much. We need to get on to number 2 on the list. My number 2 pick for my second favorite dinosaur in this game is Tyrannotitan. Even though I think that it is kind of ridiculous how it can become more tanky than a T-Rex, and it can nearly beat it in a phase tank, I still really like Tyrannotitan. I like how it plays, and like those problems that I have with it are just because that Rex needs buffs. That's it. Or, well, not necessarily buffs, just like damage tweaks. But Tyrannotitan is just a really, really good pick of a dinosaur. It's an all-rounder. It's got good healing. It's got good bleed. It's decently fast. It's got some good stamina. It's decently tanky. It's just a good Apex. Although they have nerfed its damage a little bit. Its Heavy Bite only does 100 instead of 160 like it used to. Which 160 was actually kind of insane. And its Bite used to do 50, now it only does 45. Which, the more I play with Tyrannotitan, 45 is fine. It doesn't need a buff from 45. I used to think it did, not anymore. 45 is just fine for Tyrannotitan. Because of all that bleed. If you can utilize your bleed and your Heavy Bite correctly, or if you choose to run Frenzied Tear, you can output a lot of damage and a lot of bleed. And there's a playstyle for everybody with Tyrannotitan. There's a bunch of different like builds and kits you can run with this thing. There's a bunch of different dinosaurs you can attack. You can run a feast build and go for healing, but you sacrifice the damage. But you can max out your bleed. You can run Blood Soaked to max out your stamina recovery, which I think they should buff Blood Soaked at least up to like 80% or something. Like close to back to how it was, because Blood Soaked didn't give you any other buff aside from just increasing your stamina recovery, which in a fight was very, very useful. It wasn't as useful as, like, say, buffing your damage or something like that. It wasn't broken. It was just a really good ability. I don't know why they nerfed that. They might have buffed its base stamina recovery to compensate. I don't really know. I don't think they did. I feel like I remember that. But you feel free to correct me in the comments if they did do that. I don't remember if they did or not. Tyrannotitan is just, it's just so fun. Its calls are really, really cool. I've ever since it came out, I've always loved its calls. Its roars are so satisfying. They're really, really scary if you hear them at a distance too. Its threaten is probably my favorite roar in the entire game. Its blood chilling roar, the one that reduces your bleed healing, that call is so cool. I love that call so much. It's loud, it's aggressive, you can hear it from... It actually has a distant sound as well. Just like its broadcast and its threaten. Blood chilling roar actually has a distant call. You can hear it from far away. It's really, really cool. I do like how Tyrannotitan is like the loudest apex. Like Bars and Tyrannotitan are the louder apexes, and I love that. That's so cool to me. Whereas Spino is more of like a hissing kind of dinosaur, or just like high, shrill sound effects. And Rex is like guttural growls and things, like you'd only hear it if you were like decently close by. Whereas Tyrannotitan, you're going to hear them a lot when they're fighting. They're much louder and more boisterous. And I think that fits Tyrannotitan quite a bit. And another thing, I think Tyrannotitan was a really good pick of a dinosaur to add to the game. I thought they were going to do Mapusaurus. I was convinced they were going to do Mapusaurus, actually. But no, they did Tyrannotitan instead. And personally, I think that was a good choice. At least Mapusaurus has, like, Planet Dinosaur as, like, another, like, well-known piece of media that it's in. Tyrannotitan really doesn't have anything outside of Path of Titans. But most people are probably going to know Tyrannotitan because of Path of Titans. And that's one of the cool things I like about this game. They pick the lesser-known dinos. They don't typically pick the super well-known ones, well, with the exception of Allosaurus, T-Rex, and Spinosaurus being in the game. But aside from that, there's really not many other, like, well-known dinosaurs in this game. I'm sure Styracosaurus and Stegosaurus are also well-known. But instead of Trike or Torosaurus or something like that, they picked Eotriceratops. That dinosaur has one specimen, and it is a chunk of its skull. That's it. They'll pick anything. Miragaia was so obscure that it's technically not even a valid species anymore, because it's actually synonymous with Daspletosaurus, another big stegosaurid that looks very similar. But yeah, that's really, really cool. I'm glad Tyrannotitan is in this game. I'm glad that it's strong. I'm glad that it's fun to play. It's a really good all-round dinosaur. I love its bleed play style. It's to the point where, like, if I want to play a big Carcharodontosaurid, I'm either going to play Acro or I'm going to play Tyrannotitan. I don't really play Giga as much as I play Titan, mainly because I think Titan is everything Giga should be. But anyways, that's enough waffling. Let's get on to spot number 3 on the list. Now, number 3 on the list is Barsboldia. Barsboldia is a very, very fun dinosaur to play. I used to hate this thing. I hated its playstyle where it was just spamming tail slam all the time. It would run around and spam tail slam. It was super tanky. It was the fastest apex except for Tyrannotitan. Before Tyrannotitan came out, it was easily the fastest apex in the game. It was super quick. The only things that could keep up with it were the modded Carcs like Giga, Carc, Acro, things like that. It would just dog the crap out of T-Rex all the time. Spino didn't stand a chance. Well, some good Spinos could stand a chance. Bars was just a really annoying dinosaur to fight. It still kind of is, but it relies less on just spamming one attack and then just hitting you with a knockback attack just to cycle that again and again. Because the Tail Slam has gotten a damage reduction, but it has AoE now. And you can choose to use Daze, or you can increase the AoE. You can choose not to use knockback, and you can use a more high damaging tail attack that's more punishing if you miss it. because of its long cooldown, and it actually doesn't cost stamina anymore. It just has a long cooldown. You've got a wind up tail slam. There's a lot of damage, but again, it costs stamina, so it's punishing if you miss it. There's a variety of different builds you can run with bars, and it's very fun. It's a fast, tanky apex. It fills the Shantungosaurus niche, kind of like how the Isle has Shants. This game has bars. Honestly, I would have preferred Sorolophus or something like that, but I mean, bars also doesn't have a whole lot of representation in media. At least Sorolophus has Walking with Dinosaurs, or at least that one special, the Chased by Dinosaurs special. That's what it is. Barsboldia is in Prehistoric Planet, but I mean, I'm not even sure they actually mention bars by name in that show. Plus, they're just shown to be scared of T-Rex, or not T-Rex, Tarbosaurus, and that's it. And in this game, they may be oversized, like a lot oversized. They're like Anodontosaurus annectens size. They're super big, way bigger than they should be. It's fine. Honestly, it is just fine. I can overlook the unrealistic sizing because it's fun. It's a good dinosaur, it's well balanced, it's just a really fun time to play bars. And number 4, this actually used to be my least favorite dinosaur in the entire game. Anodontosaurus used to piss me off. And there are certain players who still play the dinosaur that also piss me off. And those are the Anos that aren't good, and they just crouch and spam their tail slam attacks. That's not being good at the game. That's just laziness. It's just being lazy and not putting in any effort. And T-Rex players, if they know what they're doing, can actually punish you for that. They can punish you for playing that way. And I really, really like that they can do that. My favorite way to play Ano is to play it actively. I reduce the stamina cost on my attacks by running that one ability that reduces it, but I think it's a hide. It reduces my stamina cost by 25%. And I can, like, maneuver myself around, I can run around a bit, and I can, be a bit more active in my playstyle. And I like running a Fracture build, because Fracture build Ano is very fun to play if you play it correctly. Your tail swing does a lot of damage, so does your tail attack. The more damage you get, the faster you can attack. You can stack that Tenderize ability, which, again, they should give it to T-Rex's bite attacks. That would be so fun, and make ambushing a lot more fun, because T-Rex would utilize it differently than Ano. And Ano is just a really fun time. It really is. It doesn't do as much damage as T-Rex does, but it's really, really tanky, and it's kind of hard to, hit a lot of damage on, because its head is so small, and it can, spin and pivot and things like that during a fight. Plus, it can do the Tenderize thing. It's so fun. Ano is really fun after the TLC if you play it with the Fracture build and you don't just sit around hunkering all the time. It's really fun, it's really engaging, and I highly recommend you play Ano with a Fracture build. I honestly might make a build video about it someday. I just really enjoy playing Ano now. So, for number 5, we have Ano's main mid-tier rival, and that is Daspletosaurus. Now, Daspletosaurus used to be my main. I used to main Dasp all the time before the TLC, but I play it significantly less now, mainly because the TLC is really hit or miss. And I think it's the hides. Dasp's hides just really, really, really don't jive well with just the dinosaur in general. It's just not that great. Dasp's hides, if you get caught using the wrong one in a situation, you will die. You absolutely will die. There's no question about it. Because if you run the slick scales, right, and then you get ambushed by a T-Rex, you're dead. Unless you're able to evade the ambush, which, I mean, realistically, if the Rex does get a successful ambush on a Dasp, it should die. But you could also get jumped by, Sukos or Sarcos, which are also bigger than you. On officials, I'd imagine the situation is even worse, because you have to go to a home cave or a nest to change your abilities. So I think what they should do with Dasp is just give it like a generic hide. Just give it a generic hide, and then give it a sense, like Lone Hunter. That way it has just like a generic passive sense that it can run if it's not running Fracture. Which Fracture on Dasp, I think Bone Snap needs some quality of life changes. It's really janky right now. Like the animation is a bit janky. It's really delayed. You can't hold it for very long. It's just not that great. I mean, Bone Snap can be useful. I've seen it be useful. I've used it quite a lot. I won a UD fight. I fought 3 UDs at the same time with a Bone Snap build Dasp, and I was able to win the fight. Just because I was able to utilize my Bone Snap correctly, and that's how it should be. But again, it is very janky, and it just needs some tweaks to its code just to make it a bit more polished, and that would just fix it. Again, it's more of a nitpicky problem, but it is a problem for those of you who play Dasp. You've probably noticed that the Bone Snap is a bit finicky sometimes, and you really have to hit it early so that when the bite animation actually starts, you'll land the attack. But because of tail knockback, that's going to make it super difficult. But yeah, other than that, I think in 1v1s against other mid-tiers, Dasp's biggest problem is Allosaurus. Allosaurus can put out so much damage. It has bleed. It's just as fast. It's slightly slower than Dasp, but barely. And it has more health than Daspletosaurus. Dasp has somewhere around 600 health, whereas Allo has 700. So it is very not in Dasp's favor when it fights Allo most of the time, because Allo can tank a lot more hits than Dasp can. Dasp is just not very tanky. So I think the generic hide they should put on Dasp is just like some armor, like thick scoots or something, and give it armor. Although I'm pretty sure that's what the heavy hide is called when you're fighting something bigger than you. So I could call it something else. I don't know. Something that makes you be able to absorb more damage. Because right now, Dasp is just geared to only fight in groups. And solo Dasp is just not as viable as it should be. So if they just gave it like a generic armor hide and Lone Hunter, if they gave it Lone Hunter back, I think that would, or not necessarily back, because I don't think it ever had Lone Hunter. It just had Carnage. But yeah, that's just my main problems with Dasp. I think it should have some solo buffs and a generic hide. And yeah, that's essentially what I like about Dasp. I really, really do enjoy the Fracture builds you can do with it. I think they could definitely be a bit more polished. Like Shatter needs a buff, because it's not really that useful. I think that Rampage on it should get increased like T-Rex did. T-Rex's Rampage is a lot more viable now, and I love how T-Rex's Rampage works now. They should do the same treatment to Dasp's Rampage. The Tyrant Roar is still good. Dasp is the only thing that has it now. It can only stack twice, but I think that's fine. Dasp is actually geared to only fight in duos, which is actually interesting because most of its buffs only stack twice. You can't stack it like more than that, which is really interesting that it's specifically designed to be in duos, but it can also be in a big group too. But I do think it should be better, so it should be able to like have a solo build. Like everything should be able to have a solo build. You know, you shouldn't just have a group build all the time. You should also be able to run a solo build. But that is basically it. I really like Daspletosaurus. Its calls and its animations are very nice. It does some pretty solid damage. It could do better damage, but I think overall it's not the damage that's the problem, it's just its tankiness. It needs like an armor hide or something. But I'm repeating myself again and again. I'm going around in circles. So I think that's going to have to do it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening to me waffle on about my autistic hyperfixations. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next video. See ya.